It is my testimony that the border is secure, and we are working every day to increase.
Sorry, kiddo. That's not the way I remember it.
An open border is the most inhumane thing you can do, because when you make a promise to the world like Biden and Mayorkas did, you can enter your country illegally, it's a crime, don't worry about it. We're going to release you within 24 hours. We're going to give you an airline ticket, an air ticket to the city of your choice. We're going to put you in a hotel room at $500 a night. We're going to give you 3 meals a day. And if you wait long enough for like 4 months, we're going to give you work authorization, which is the real reason you came here. You're not escaping fear. You're not really asylum seeker. When you make that promise to the whole world, the most vulnerable people are going to give their life savings to the cartels and make that dangerous journey. And that's why I had over 4,000 migrant deaths. The most humane thing you can do is secure the border. President Trump has illegal immigration down 96.7%, no, 97%. When 97% less people are coming, how many women aren't being raped? How many children aren't dying? How many pounds of fentanyl is not getting in to kill Americans? How many no-inspected terrorists aren't making it into the United States? How many billions of dollars the cartel's not making? President Trump is a remarkable leader for this nation. I've worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I worked for thought border security was somewhat important. No one did more than President Trump. His success is unprecedented. Unprecedented. And because of that, we have the most secure, safe nation we've had.
Everybody sees this and thinks it's immoral. Nobody, I think that the last election was frankly lost on this issue, and that's what everybody says in the exit polls. Nobody liked the open border. Everybody saw it as inhumane. It is indefensible. It's indefensible if you're a Christian. If you can read Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy says, don't allow your land to be overtaken by the foreigner. They will become your master and you will be their slave. So if you wish to look to the Bible, I know we're at a Christian college here, there it is. What should happen to these? I think that's one thing that that people are grasping for, is what should happen to Mayorkas? What should happen to the Biden administration? These people, they facilitated this. Should they be charged with crimes?
Yes, they need to be held accountable. I mean, what they did, here the other day, I watched Congress a couple weeks ago. We're going to prosecute Miller, Holman, Noam. We're going to prosecute all you guys what you've done. Really? What have we done? Other than enforce the laws you wrote. Meanwhile, Alejandro Mayorkas stood under oath during testimony in Congress how many times to say the border is secure? He lied under oath. Was he held accountable? No, what they did was treasonous. They created the most significant national security failure in the history of this nation, was allowing millions of people across this border. And what scares me the most, scare you the most, over 2 million known gotaways. 2 million people that were caught on video, drone traffic, or sensor traffic entered the country and got away. Because the Border Patrol was so overwhelmed at humanitarian crisis, an average of 70% of agents were off the line. Some days, here in Texas, Eagle Pass, El Paso, there was weeks where there wasn't a single Border Patrol uniform in the sector on the line, because they're dealing with the overcrowding, changing diapers, making baby formula, taking care of this humanitarian crisis. Why did 2 million people pay more to get away? Because you pay the cartel a certain amount of money to get to the border. See a green uniform, turn yourself in, get released, get flown to the city of your choice, all that. Why did 2 million people pay more not to take advantage of the free giveaways? Why? Because they didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. Either because they're gang members, they're criminals, they're smuggling fentanyl, or they're from a country that sponsors terror. That was the biggest national security failure this nation's ever seen, and they need to be held accountable. Because Tulsi Gabbard said it, the intelligence community said it, we know there are people here. We know where some are. We know where some aren't. So I pray every day that something terrible doesn't happen. But I'm glad President Trump's in the Oval Office if something does happen. But what they did wasn't mismanagement. It wasn't incompetence. It was by design. They knew exactly what they were doing. And let me tell you why. Because under Barack Obama, they gave me an award for removing almost 500,000 illegal aliens, right? Alejandro Mayorkas was the deputy secretary at the time. Joe Biden was the vice president. We had a surge at the border under Obama, and we shut it down. How did we do that? We detained everybody. We built family residential centers to hold families. We made them see a judge. 90% lost their hearings, were sent home, the numbers tanked. So they know how we fix it. Don't release them, make them see a judge, remove them. So now Alejandro Mayorkas is the secretary, Joe Biden's the president. What do? They don't detain them, they don't make them see a judge, and they handcuff ICE so they can't deport people. They did a complete opposite of what they know worked when they were vice president and deputy secretary. This wasn't mismanagement, this is on purpose. They thought they would see a future political benefit in bringing millions of people, illegal aliens, put them in sanctuary cities, and he also overturned the Trump census rule, hoping they'd be counted in the next census, which results in what? More seats in the House for the Dems. Plus, they thought they were going to be future Democratic voters. They sold this country out for future political power. And in my mind, in my opinion, that's treasonous.
We're going to jump to Q&A from the audience in just a minute, but I have just a few quick follow-ups because I just can't help myself. You did get an award from Barack Obama.
Yeah.
It's a real photo. It's not AI. There's that photo of you getting that award, right? What the hell happened to that guy? Because he was like, hey, great job doing all the deportations. And then suddenly it's like, well, let's use all the criminal aliens to rig the elections in Virginia. I mean, you saw that last night, right?
I live in Virginia.
All the murders in Fairfax County, I think it's something like 80% of the murders in Fairfax County are illegals. They pump that state full of illegals. There's no doubt that the way that mail-in balloting works, that a ton of illegals voted in Virginia in order to wreck the state last night. And you're saying that's the goal. Is that correct?
Yeah. I live in Virginia. I was pretty upset over that. Thank God a district court judge is holding that now. And I think once it gets to our courts, they'll uphold that. What they did, I think, it was pure gerrymandering. And almost half the state, it's a pretty purple state, half the state's Republican red, they got no representation now. Well, they lost 90% of it, right? It just isn't right. But what that administration did was by design. And I find it hard to believe that any president, any secretary of Homeland Security will sell this nation's security out. It's criminal.
Charge Mayorkas with treason. Last question, and then we'll open it up to the audience.